First thing first, we're just going to jump into a lap of mine from an R8 GT4, and then we'll break it down after. Alright, let's take a look at a lap here now of Circuit of the Americas. Coming into turn 1, we're looking for the braking point, which is in between the 150 and the 100. This is a late apex in turn 1. You have the tendency to maybe want to cheat in a little early because the corner widens up on the inside, but keep the car to the outside of the track. Turn in pretty late apex. You see here I'm actually almost around the turn really before I make my apex, and that's because if you apex too early, like right at the point, you're still pointed, the car's still pointed further down the track to the outside basically, and so you don't want to get to the edge of the track too early. If you can see the pitch of the car here, I'm still turning, and now I'm straightening my hands up using all the track on the exit. Set up to the left hand side for turn 2. Get down to the inside. You want to get down onto these inside rumble strips, straddling them if you can, if the car is tall enough, and then that allows you to carry speed to the edge of the track out of 2. You want to make sure you set up back about 3/4 of the way across as you come in under the bridge into turn 3 in the S's. Carry full throttle all the way to the bridge, lift, a little bit of brake for turn 4, help get the car rotated, a little bit of brake for turn 5, full throttle out of it, little bit of a brush of the brake in 6 maybe. You want to clip this first apex here, let the car out in the mid corner, get back down to the second apex, which is underneath this gantry that goes across the track here. You can kind of see the shadow on the ground as we come up to it here. This allows you to help hold the car over to the right hand side of the track as you exit out of 6 into 7. And then a little bit of a brake here. The thing in 7 that I like to do is let the car roll all the way to the outside of the track. If you try and hold the car slow and get over to the left hand side of the track, you're actually compromising the speed that you can carry out of 7. So what I like to do is carry the speed all the way out to the outside of the track, go straight for the beginning of this curb in turn 8 and straddle the curb up through 8. You can see all these tire marks because people are running it. There's a lot of grip here. As the track goes uphill like it does, you're given extra grip to the tire because it's forcing itself basically to the car is forcing itself to the track by going uphill. So you're still getting some of that, About right here, you start to lose a little bit of that, but then the track straightens out. And as you can see, as we come into turn 9, we're actually set up perfectly if we straddle the curb all the way up through 8, and you have more of the track to the, you're set up more to the right-hand side of the track, which opens up the entry into 9 as you come to the top. The goal is to be full throttle and flat all the way through turn 9, so you can use all the track on the exit and have a full, keep basically extend the amount of time that you're on full throttle. So the braking point is going to be right where the grass meets the concrete here on the right hand side, or the asphalt. And hard braking point, similar to turn 1, it's a very sharp turn. You want to have a late apex. It's the longest straightaway on the track, and so if you pick up throttle too early, if you have too early of an apex, you're having to wait to get to the throttle too long because the car hasn't finished the corner. You're going to have a slower run down the straightaway. So you want to have a very late apex, be able to bury your foot in the throttle as early as possible just after the apex, and extend the straightaway. So now coming down into turn 12, we're looking for in between the 200 and the 150. So in the R8, it's got good brakes. We can brake all the way down at the 150. This brake zone is actually downhill a little bit. So first place you want to start probably is at 200, and then as you get more comfortable, you can start working your way down depending on what car you're driving. It's going to be another late apex. It's a very sharp turn. You can brake quite deep into here, get the car rotated at the mid corner, use all the track on the exit, and then have the car pointed across to the left hand side because you got to get back over to the left to set up for turn 13. The braking point and turn-in point I like to use here is this white stripe on the outside of the track. It's going to be my braking point. Getting down onto this curb on the inside, you can see a lot of people are running over it. It's all dark and black from the rubber that's been driven on it. So that normally would be a yellowish orange color if it hadn't been. You can kind of see it on the edges if it hadn't been driven over all the time. So use a little bit of that, helps rotate the car. This is a double apex corner, so you want to get back down to the second apex, which is right on this rumble strip on the inside here, 14. Similar kind of way that you drive 15 here. You have a little bit of a double apex style turn. You use this first apex as the braking zone, kind of trailing the brake down into the middle of the corner, off the brake, rotating the car, getting down to full throttle on the exit, using all the track out on the exit. Now we're going to get set over to the left-hand side of the track as we come into the carousel. Similar to the S's, I like to carry full throttle up underneath the bridge, lift, get down to this first apex, maybe clip the second one, let the car out a little bit in the mid-corner, and I don't quite get all the way down to this second apex, or third apex, excuse me, in the carousel, because you can kind of see on the inside and it upsets the car as I'm going through the turn. The further in that you get up onto the curb here on the inside, the worse those bumps are. Getting back across the track to the right hand side to set up for 19 helps you have a nice smoother line through 19. Similar to turn 13, you can get up on this inside curb a little bit. You can see a lot of people have been driving over it. It's very smooth. The car handles it and takes it very nicely. A little bit of that curb helps rotate the car, use all the track on the exit. Coming into the last turn onto the front straightaway, looking for the braking point, which is going to be either this orange end of the barrier or this access road here on the right hand side of the track. Getting the car slowed down, you have a little bit of that uphill grip again like we have in turn 8. Getting the car rotated, waiting on power, full throttle right as you get after the apex. And there you have it, a lap at Circuit of the Americas.